My internet is not handling the stream very well at the minute. Okay, I'm back. Welcome to the stream, Gameweek 18 deadline stream. Not really a lot going on in this stream because I've basically already decided on what my team will look like for this game week. Basically, the team you can see on screen at the minute will be the team that I have locked in for Gameweek 18. So in nets, if you haven't seen my team selection video, make sure you check it out, but I'll quickly run through my team. So in nets, I have Kepa, good fixture against Nottingham Forest away from home. Projected points 10 there. I'm not sure how much that is true, how much you want to read into those projected points, but Kepa and nets, and then the back three of Trippier, Cancelo and Shaw. I am playing Shaw over Ben White, who is on my bench. I just think Wolves away is an easier fixture than Shaw. Then Cancelo, Everton at home, great fixture, and then Trippier, Leeds at home, another great fixture, especially with the form Leeds have been in. Then in the midfield we have Rashford, Kevin De Bruyne, Martinelli and Almiron. Pretty standard. Rashford turned up quite a lot last week. Big performance from him. I think he got something like 14 points. Obviously disappointing with Kevin De Bruyne not getting any returns at all, but unfortunately you can't always have it your way. Those who did go Salah, respect to them, because Salah ended up outscoring Kevin De Bruyne. And then we have Martinelli and Almiron. I have decided to play Almiron this week because last week I benched him for an 8-pointer, which was extremely unfortunate. And then Martinelli as well, just a regular starter in my team. He looks like, at times he looks like Arsenal's best player, so there has been no reason for me to not have him in my team. And then in the forward line we have Darwin, who plays tonight against Leicester at home. And then we have Haaland, obviously the captain for this week. And then Martial with Wolves away. So 3 good fixtures in my opinion in the starting lineup, or in the attack. Obviously we'd be wanting for, more from Darwin this week compared to last week, because last week he certainly struggled to take his chances. But I'm not too worried about that. I've read quite a lot that says that Klopp is quite happy with Darwin, and he believes his time will come and the goals will start coming in, so I would tend to agree with that opinion. It's going to be interesting next week in terms of the captaincy, because as you can see at the minute, if we look at the captaincy poll, so Gameweek 18 captaincy result, this is via Fantasy Football Scout on Twitter. So obviously Haaland wins the the captaincy poll with 84.8% going for Haaland. I just thought I'd lagged there, but it's all good. Yeah, so Haaland obviously will be the captain. It's going to be interesting next week to see what the captain decisions are. Obviously, Fulham have that double game week that I spoke about against Chelsea, and I can't remember their second team. I should remember the second team. I can't remember the second team, but yeah, Chelsea and Fulham have a double game week. Chelsea play Man City and Fulham. I'm not sure who the other team Fulham play is, but I've seen a lot of people considering maybe going for Havertz or Mount as a captain for the double game week. Personally, I haven't really looked into it that much, but it's definitely a move I would consider, but I don't know who I take out. It would probably have to be a move in midfield maybe, but then I have so much funds and held up in Martinelli, and I wouldn't want to take out Rashford or Martial or anybody like that, especially with a fixture at home to Bournemouth. So I'm not sure if I want to kind of go that extra mile just purely for a double game week, especially one that isn't the best. I mean, Fulham obviously a good fixture, but then Man City is the toughest fixture you could probably have in the league. So I'm not really convinced by that. So yeah, if we take a look at the scout selection for this game week, we can see that Scout has gone for Leno in nets, obviously the Fulham goalkeeper, great fixture against Southampton at home. Then Trippier, Walker, White. I mean, that's a basic back three formation. It's a back three that probably a lot of people would have. It's interesting that the Scout's gone for White over Shaw. I've seen a lot of people considering Shaw as Reece James replacements this game week, but it seems like the Scout has decided to instead go for White and cover that Arsenal defence, which isn't a bad shout in my opinion. Then in the midfield, Scout has gone for Salah, Foden, Rashford and Almiron. Similar midfield to me, apart from I have De Bruyne over Foden and I have Martinelli over Salah. I think this week for Salah owners could be a really good week. I think Leicester at home is a great fixture, especially considering Leicester are just off the back of a 3-0 defeat to Newcastle at home. Foden is an interesting choice because Foden obviously did not start in their most recent game. Again, I think Foden is he has been kind of in this, not the second half of the season, but leading up to the World Cup and obviously after the World Cup, he has been a minutes risk. Pep doesn't seem to want to start him at the minute, which is incredibly interesting. I don't understand why. I mean, at the start of the season, Foden was getting consistent minutes every single game, but at the minute that doesn't seem to be the case. Although I would bet on the fact that he starts this weekend against Everton. I'm pretty sure Grealish is going to be benched. I mean, I watched the Man City game and I wasn't overly impressed by Jack Grealish in that game, and I think Foden is just a much better player than Grealish, so in my opinion I'm pretty certain he will start this weekend. And then obviously Rashford and Almiron we've already discussed. Haaland captain, Kane with a good fixture at Aston Villa at home, and then Mitrovic. I mean, that front three is a pretty nice front three, and it also leads me into kind of one of the main issues I'm worried about with my team this weekend, which is not owning Mitrovic. Now Mitrovic has a great fixture against Southampton at home. I've seen a lot of people kind of get on the Mitrovic hype after his last week performance where he netted a haul. I think he got an assist and a goal, or maybe 2 assists, something like that. But I wasn't really interested in hopping straight from Martial to Mitrovic, if I'm being honest. I think I'd rather wait, see what happens this game week, because if Mitrovic does get a yellow card, he will get suspended for the double game week because he's on 4 yellow cards, I think it is at the minute. So for people that have gone for Mitrovic, that could be quite a big risk if he does end up getting yellow card at this game week. And Kane obviously was a player I was considering in my game week 17 wildcard draft, but in the end I ended up going for Darwin instead because it just gave me more freedom and gave me the ability to spread funds more easily around my team. So yeah, that's the scout selection for this week. Let me know what you think of the team. How many players do you have in your team from the scout selection? I have starting players I have 1, 2, 3, 4, which is usually a good sign if I'm being honest. There's usually a scout curse, and thankfully I have only 4 players from that team. Obviously I have White, but he is on my bench. He's first on my bench for this game week. And if you are still struggling to decide on who to start and who to bench, we can take a look against Everton at home this weekend, which is obviously the highest. It always seems to be the highest every single week. Haaland is just at the top. These stats are obviously from checkthechance.com. And then second place, surprisingly, we have De Bruyne. Obviously that surprises me because last week was it a 2-pointer he got in their most recent game against Leeds? I say last week, but it was only a couple of days ago. The schedule's fast and thick and fastest. at this point. So yeah, De Bruyne is second with 7.9, not far behind Haaland at all. Obviously, if you did watch that Man City game, you would probably understand why De Bruyne is sitting second on the predicted points, and it is because he was always kind of creating those chances. He was always assisting the assister, as would be a good way to put it. And if the Man City players become more clinical, even more clinical than they already are, De Bruyne will just wreck in the points. So that's why I'm not particularly worried as a De Bruyne owner, not having Salah, because I know what De Bruyne's potential is, and it's not one of those picks where you pick and then you start getting worried because he's not doing anything or he's not involved, or De Bruyne was very much involved in their win against Leeds. He was just unlucky to not kind of get an assist or get any sort of return. But for the future, I'm not really worried. And then a third place, right behind Salah, De Bruyne, is Salah with a great fixture against Leicester at home. Salah's a weird one this season because he's definitely not lived up to the kind of expectations we've had or we've known from previous seasons. Although saying that, like, he has been performing well. I think it'd be unfair to say he hasn't been performing well. But yeah, 33.8 ownership for Salah is insane when you appreciate kind of what it's been in the past. I mean, for less than slightly more than a third of people to own Salah is just crazy. Like, usually Salah would be in the Haaland numbers, realistically around there. So it's interesting that he's so low owned, but that kind of just reflects how strong Haaland has been this year in terms of captaincy. A lot of people maybe feel that if they're not going to captain Salah, there's no need to have him. They could maybe go for somebody like Diaz or Jota before they were injured. And obviously I've gone Darwin in my team at the minute just to cover that Liverpool attack as best I can, which in my opinion's seemingly been paying off. Although he hasn't got the returns I desire just yet, he has been getting in those chances, and he's predicted with 5.9 points this week with only 16.8 ownership, so he is seemingly a differential. Any other interesting picks? Obviously Foden high up there with 6.37. Obviously the only issue is, does he start? How many minutes does he get? And then one of the main surprises to me is a player that I hadn't even considered is Perisic with 5.76 points for that fixture against Aston Villa at home. 20% still own Perisic, which is larger than I expected. But then Perisic is also another minutes risk. Conte does like to play him. He does, play him quite a bit, but there is a bit of rotation in that back line for Spurs, so he's not always guaranteed for a start. But I think he's a good option if you are looking to cover that Spurs defence. But I wouldn't be going for him this week. I think there's much better options elsewhere. Like I've discussed in my team selection video, you have the likes of Botman, Shaw, who I already own, or that's the projected points for this week. So now I think it's a good idea that we go over and look at the goal scorer odds for the game week. So as you can see, Haaland leads the goal scoring odds with 61% chance of scoring any time during his game against Everton. Salah is followed behind with 46%, and then Wilson in third with the exact same chance of scoring as Salah with also 46%. Now, obviously, Wilson did not start last week, and so he has been a bit of a doubt going into this game, although I did see recently that according to Eddie Howe, Wilson is back in training and he has trained with the Newcastle team. But I'm surprised he's such, so high up there in terms of goal scoring odds, but I suppose this is based on the fact whether, they start. This must be based on whether they start or not. Then Mitrovic with 45%, Darwin, Kane, Foden, Son, Mahrez. Mahrez always makes me laugh when he appears in these goal scorer odds and the projected points, because Mahrez has been the player I've been fooled by the most. I mean, I can't count the number of times I've gone for him, kept him for 5 weeks, he's either not played or not returned, and then as soon as I get him out of my team, he ends up returning. And he always seems to be a player that is always on these projected points every single time. It's always Mahrez who is up there in the projected points or the goal scorer odds. So I just think that's funny. And then obviously the only Chelsea player to make it onto the goal scorer odds is Havertz with 28.5% chance of scoring against Nottingham Forest away, which is obviously a great fixture for Chelsea. You know, if you do have Chelsea assets, you would really be hoping that you do get something from that game. Yeah, and then if we want to look at the clean sheet odds, Man City obviously top again against Everton with a 56% chance of keeping a clean sheet. So all those who went Ederson or Cancelo or Walker, that's obviously good news for you. Everton, unfortunately, you know, if you are an Everton fan, look away now, because they have a 6% chance of keeping a clean sheet against Man City, the lowest this week. Second and third are Liverpool and Chelsea, and then obviously Newcastle fourth. I mean, I think for most people, if we go back and look at my team, so yeah, I have a Newcastle defender, a Man City defender, and then I have Shaw. Let me see where Man United are with clean sheet odds. So Man United are sixth with a 37.5% chance. So yeah, as you can see here, this kind of backs up my decision to start Shaw over Ben White. So Man United have a 37.5% chance of keeping a clean sheet, whilst Arsenal have a 29% chance. So in terms of the probability of keeping a clean sheet, Man United come out a lot better. So that also is another reason why I think on paper anyway, Man United against Wolves is a better fixture than Arsenal playing Brighton. And then the statistics obviously back that up, so that kind of cements my idea of keeping Ben White on the bench and starting Luke Shaw instead. And also Martinez is back, and I think Harry Maguire's recovered from his injury, so that his illness, so that hopefully means that Luke Shaw will go back into left back and obviously be more of an attacking threat, because obviously last game he did play centre back. I lost my train of thought there. He played centre back because obviously of their injuries and Martinez being with Argentina at the World Cup, just coming back and stuff like that. So hopefully I consider if you are looking to replace Reece James. So yeah, that's the clean sheet odds if you want to take a look at that. I'll leave that up there for a minute just so you can make sure. There's only 21 minutes until the deadline, so make sure you know you get your teams fairly locked in. I don't expect the servers to crash this week because it is a midweek fixture. So if anything, I think a lot of people might accidentally miss it because they don't realise there's games on tonight. That does happen quite a bit. Yep. And then here's the goal scorer odds as well, just if you want to see them. Haaland, Salah, Wilson, Mitrovic, Darwin, Keane, Foden, Son, Mahrez, Tony, De Bruyne and Havertz. And goal scorers are calculated using odds from the bookies, adjusted for betting margins. It's converted to percentages before being displayed in this table. So if you are considering, you know, your captain this week, which I'm not sure a lot of people would be, personally I'm on Haaland 100%, then here's the goal scorer odds. Obviously Fulham have a great fixture against Southampton, so if you want to go and risk it, go ahead with Mitrovic, probably have a good chance of return. So yeah, there's the goal scorer odds. And then again, the scout selection: Leno and Nets, Trippier, Walker, White, Salah, Foden, Rashford, Almiron, Haaland, Kane and Mitrovic. Pretty strong team on paper, you would have to say. Yeah, I like the look of that team a lot. I'm trying to think of any issues I'd have. I see a lot of people going for Walker. Personally, I'd just rather have Cancelo. I think Cancelo gives you a better attacking threat as well than Walker does. But yeah, there we go. If you are new to the stream and you are enjoying it, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe to the channel and check out the newest video, which is my team selection for Game Week 18. It was uploaded yesterday. Any support on it would be appreciated. Unfortunately, my internet is acting up this evening, so apologies if the stream is lagging. Let me see. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm just gonna go to the live changing team. That's not the team. Here we go. Oh, the internet is acting up, or maybe the servers are crashed. Either or. Let's see. I want to try change my team. No, still no sign of it loading. Getting close to 15 minutes until the deadline. Let's go over to pick team. So yeah, here we are. Here's the team. Maybe I should. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put Andreas first on the bench. I mean, unfortunately, there's nobody I could start him over. I've seen people consider starting Andreas over Martial, but personally, I don't think I'm going to do that. Let me save that. Hopefully, that's saved. Apologies if it is very bright at the minute. My internet is not allowing me to properly load the FPL website. There we go. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my team sorted. I think we're locked in. I think I'm going to tweet this because we are locked in now. Yeah, that's the team locked in. Andreas first on the bench. Just in case, I doubt he will end up getting on in front of anybody. I can't see anybody on that team not starting and allowing him to get any minutes off my bench, but you never know, weirder things have happened. So yeah. Does Mitrovic miss next game week if he gets a yellow? Yes, I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure he's on 4 at the minute, so if he gets one more he ends up on 5, which I think rules him out for both game weeks. Let me just double check if the internet would load. Yeah, so Mitrovic is on 4 yellow cards at the minute, which means if he gets one more, so if he gets one against Southampton, he's going to miss the next game week, which would be the double game week, and I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters that it's, 2 games. I think it counts as like the game week rather than games, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so if he does get the yellow card, then he will miss game week 19, where they have that double game week. I'm trying to see, who do they even play? Let me see. They play Southampton, and then the double game weeks Leicester and Chelsea. Yeah, so if he picks up the yellow card against Southampton, that means he'll miss the Leicester away game definitely, and I'm not 100% sure if he'll miss the Chelsea game as well. But if anything, that Leicester game is the game you'll want him for, because it's the better fixture, obviously. But I think he may end up missing both those games, so then he'll be out for both of them. So I think if you have Mitrovic at the minute, keep him. if you don't have him, I'd go for somebody else. I wouldn't bring in Mitrovic. Yeah, I wouldn't risk it personally. And then after that, like, the thing is with Mitrovic, like Newcastle, Tottenham, Aston Villa, or Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea, like, they obviously aren't good fixtures. They're pretty poor fixtures. But the thing with Mitrovic is he's on penalties, so you know, you're just having him in your team to just get any returns randomly. You're not always expecting him to return, and he's nailed on penalties as long as he doesn't get a yellow card. So yeah, I would have gone for him in my Game Week 17 team, but obviously we got information saying that he was a major doubt or a doubt for the game or something. So I went Martial, instead, which is a bit frustrating, but at least Martial returned, so I can't complain too much. I'm just gonna tweet my team out. Game Week 18. Oh, the internet is so bad. I can't even find an emoji. There we go. Rolled. Yeah, so I'm rolling the transfer this week. There's no need for me to take out Reece James this week because I'm just kind of I'm going to assess the situation. I'm happy to play Shaw. I'm happy with my team overall. The only thing I'm worried about, is Andreas on the bench, but there's not a lot I can do about that, unfortunately. And there's nobody on my team I'd play him over that I can play him over, so yeah, I'm just going to roll the transfer, and then that gives me 2 free transfers for Game Week 19, where hopefully we'll have slightly more information, maybe about the double game weeks coming up and whatnot. I think it's always better just to wait and see if we get more information instead of rushing into a transfer when possible. I completely forgot there was even Premier League on tonight until this morning. I didn't realise it was a Friday. I like Friday games though, it's interesting, and tonight's a good one as well because Liverpool play Leicester, so there could be quite a lot of goals in that. Hopefully Darwin finally gets some returns. That's all I'm asking for. So yeah, Game Week 18 team locked in. I just tweeted it. Internet's so bad my tweet won't even post. Would love to get into the top 150k this week, which would be another small green arrow, but I'm not sure yet. Not sure what's going to happen. But I think on paper my team looks good, so I'm happy enough with it. Yeah, so just tweet at my team. There's the tweet there. So make sure to go give it a like or a retweet. It is appreciated. I'm really sorry about the stream and the drop there, but I'll have to look into it after the stream. If you have any questions, do fire them in the chat, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Oh, it looks like okay, so I just saw from Team News and Ticks. Darwin Núñez, he came from Benfica to the True Reds. Yeah, he could do with a couple of returns in my FPL team, if I'm being honest. Solid team, appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's a good team on paper. Like, but the thing is, on paper is all well and good until we actually get to the game week and the football starts. I know you say that, like, and I watched the most recent Liverpool game and saw the amount of chances that man had, and oh my god, if I actually had Darwin captain for that game, I don't know if I'd be alive right now, because was it something like five chances, like goal chances he missed or something like that, like 5 big chances, like. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but like he needs to be far more clinical. Like there's a couple of chances that he should have just been scoring easily. But I'm keeping my faith at the minute, because I think if he does return, you know, it's going to boost my rank massively. Because if we look at the projected points, he's only owned by 16.8% of people, which is incredibly low. Like, it's one of the lowest on that list. Only Trent and Robertson are below him. So like, he's still a massive differential, and he's a good player. Like, you know, we've seen the chances he gets, and Leicester at home is a great fixture. Leicester are a shocking defence. So in terms of captain, I would agree with you if Haaland did not play. Like, if Haaland was out for this game week, then yeah, Darwin would definitely be somebody I'd consider. But I just think if you go against Haaland, you're playing with fire, personally. But yeah, I saw Liverpool have signed Cody Gakpo. I saw that he's now in the game at 8 million, which I think is a pretty good price for somebody like Gakpo. I mean, it's what you would kind of expect, you know, around the price of Saka and Kulusevski and stuff like that. And you know, I'd say he'd play straight away, considering Liverpool's injury issues at the minute. So he could eventually be a good option, but I think we just have to wait and see with that one. See what happens. I just saw somewhere that it means a number of things. It means that there is a deal kind of being put together for Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea, but it does say here Benfica says the reason is because he just got back, which I'm not sure about, because Otamendi starts as well, so that doesn't really make sense to me. But if you are a Chelsea fan, that is quite interesting. As a Chelsea fan myself, I think that would be a great buy. We need a player like that, and I'd rather have Enzo Fernandez over Rice, if I'm being honest. But yeah, there we go. Back to the team. So obviously we're sitting at 100, just below 170k at the minute. So yeah, like I said, at least the least I want to move up is into the 150k. If I could break back into the top 100k, that would be amazing. If we look at my my team, where am I looking here? Where is it? My game week history. If it's going to load, I would like, the lowest I was at this the earlier point of the season was like, I think it was like 30 or 20k. It's obviously not going to load here, which is brilliant. But yeah, I would love to get back to like. The thing is nowadays though with sorry, there we go. With FPL is that there's so many people people playing it. There's like close to like what 11 million people now. So like if you do get if you are like top 100k, like that's like top 50k like a few years ago, because there is such a larger pool. But as you can see, good start game week 1, then game week 4 we had a shocker, we were 1 million, and then the game week which changed it all was game week 8. I went from 274,000 to 35k, then another one down to 25k, and then unfortunately we got two red arrows in a row, ended up back at 65k, then green arrows 62, and then I doubled my rank and went back up to 130k. And then unfortunately just before Christmas we end up with a massive red arrow to 177k. But so far we've managed to recover slightly, and I'm just hoping for another green arrow this week. Just constant green arrows is what you want, no matter how big or small they are. Because what are we? We're only game week 18. Like maybe we're just turned halfway through the season. I don't know if we are over halfway. I don't know. Maybe we are over halfway. Wait, how many game weeks is? We're 1 minute away from the deadline as well, so let me just make sure my team's locked in here. Kepa, Trippier, Cancelo, Shaw, Rashford, vice captain. Yeah, De Bruyne, Martinelli, Almiron, Darwin, Haaland captain, Martial, Ward on the bench, Andreas for sub, White and James. Yeah, I like the look of that. View information. How many fixtures are there? Game weeks? 38 game weeks. So 18. Yeah, we're not even halfway through the season yet, which is crazy when you 38. Yeah, so we're only a couple game weeks away from halfway, so it's still really early days in FPL. So big rank gains can be made. But yeah, that's my team locked in. I'm pretty sure we are locked in. What time is it? Yeah, it's 1:15. I'm just going to refresh the site, but I think that will be it. No real leaks to worry about this evening, which is nice, because usually it can be quite stressful with the deadline streams. But unfortunately fortunately this deadline stream was pretty chill, and there was really nothing to worry about. But yeah, as you can see on screen, that is my team for game week 18. I appreciate everybody that stopped by the deadline stream. Apologies again for my internet. I've dropped 22,000 frames during the stream, but if you did enjoy it, do leave a like. If you are new, do subscribe. And yeah, I appreciate everybody that stopped by. I hope everybody has a good game week and they get a green arrow, and hopefully the team you see on paper will get me down from that 169k rank to within the top 150k. That is my goal for this game week. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for the game week stream. We are past the deadline by 1 minute. Yep, so I've just got the I've just got the message on the website. The game is updating and it will be available soon. The first game, the first game isn't until 7:45, so what are we? We're an hour and a half. Yeah, we're an hour and a half before the first game starts instead of an hour, but I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing really to worry about. I think everybody's going to be in the same situation. I think most people will have rolled their transfer. But yeah, I've rolled my transfer, and that is the team with Haaland captain, and that's going to do it for today's deadline stream. So I appreciate everybody that stopped by, and I will see you in I may do a stream to mark kind of the end of the game week, or the next video I post will probably be my transfer tips and plans going into game week 19 and the possibility of double game weeks. So make sure to check that out, and if you are new, make sure to subscribe, and if you enjoyed the stream, please do like it and follow me on Twitter at FPL Father Ted. Appreciate everybody that stopped by.